Yeah, so if I had to redo, center of gravity is probably further up here, like way further up here. So, and we're not gonna, it's not worth moving those bolts to be able to support in this area that we would need. So I think it's one of those, we get the thing. Well, if I don't get it up today, then I just need to start working on it on its side, which I did actually go through here and stand on that B pillar to get the shocks out, so it's possible. It's really, yeah, I can do everything but the interior priming. So I think I can get to that top bolt and I can probably put that seat pan in. Okay, so new plan. We're just gonna leave it. I think I can get here well enough. So we'll get this top bolt. The bottom bolt, I think we can, it won't be too bad to replace now, but I might wait until the car's flat to do that. But we can at least get this top one out, put the new one in, tack it in place, and get the floor pan in. Then we can focus on the exterior, getting that back together. When the car's upright, we'll bother with the rest of the interior. Okay, so starting to see good reasons to leave this thing up. So we got this section apart. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. We got this apart, so we can get in there and start grinding that down. We can see that like everything from this seam up is good, from this seam over is good, most of this is good. It's this little area, these things that we need to clean up, and especially here, right? It's like this is two pieces, and then here it becomes two pieces, even though it's thin. So if we go over to the other side, I have an air chisel, but I don't want to use it on stuff like this because it'll fold it up. But especially now with that epoxy on there, it's really easy to see where these spot welds are. So I think we'll go ahead and we'll drill these. We'll drill as many spot welds as we can in this flat section, like up to here, so we can start peeling this back, including this little radius. And then when we put the new floor pan on, we can hit all those, grind them back down, and they'll get another coat of 2K when we do this bottom side. So yeah, it's going to make dealing with the corner a lot easier to drill these out, peel it back carefully. And back here we can just kind of, well, maybe I'll drill these out too, and then peel it. So, and I think here I may have cut too high, so I might need to get a strip and fill a gap in. That's unfortunate, but yeah, what do you do? Okay, I think all of the floor pan area that I want to replace is out. The rest of it's solid. So I need to go ahead and grind this up and get nice clean metal to attach to, get some of these extra, bits. Like right here, this is all double thick, so we'll need to pull that down. We still need to get that nut out and replace it. Don't forget to do that before I weld this pan in. So maybe I'll do that now before I clean things up. Yeah, that would be the smart thing to do, because I'll forget about that and put it back together. So fix the nut. Okay, so here's that cut off best I can without cutting through the floor too much. And there's quite a big lip left over from the welded nut, that they put in from the factory. There's nothing wrong with that, because there's nothing wrong with the weld. It was the bolt that snapped. So now from this side, I'm going to drill it. We're not centered, but that's okay. We're going to make it a little sloppy. It doesn't need to be perfect. Here's the bushing from the control arm that it goes through. So we know it's at least the right bolt size. We'll check later and see if it's the right length and if I can use these or if I'll have to buy new ones. But in the meantime, we just need this hole to be centerable for this bolt, so that we can put a bolt of the same diameter in, same thread pitch nut, pinch it together, weld the other side. So that's the next phase. Okay, these must be off something else, because I got the K-member out. This is the orientation that would be if it was up there in the vehicle. And so the front swing arm part, it might be the right diameter, but you can see from here, based on where the threads stop, it's too long. And when I go through here, the one we're fixing now, that's way too long. So this bolt's just too long, too much. First time I've ever heard that, but well, there's a little bit of I guess there's a step in there. It seems like those threads are so, it's not that big of a step, right? It's like here. So realistically, we should have threads starting almost at the base of that. I'll have to look up what size bolt that was. I might have to go out and get one before we finish this part of the repair. Let me see what I've still got over at the counter. Could be that guy. Got a couple of those. Got a pair of those. So I don't remember it being fine thread either. I think this is the proper thread. So let's see how this fits. And if we do find the right bolt size, I can measure this one and see if it's the right length. See, that's to me, that's perfect, right? The threads start right as they pop out of that hole. There's enough of a gap before the nut's going to show up that, you know, that's probably not the one that was in there originally, because I don't think that nut was that tall. Yeah, look at it. She's a little, you know. So this wouldn't have been the original bolt either. So this might be the side ones, which would be great. Those are the ones we cut. Yeah, that might be the case. So I think we'll have to do a little bit of internets, figure out which size and which thread pitch these bolts were, so we make sure that we put the right ones in, since the entire cane member is getting new nuts welded on two parts to hold the control arms on. Yay. Okay, so I was able to find part numbers online. They're M12 by 1.5 thread, one's 78 millimeters long, the other's 82. And to get the OEM stuff is $6 for one bolt and $4.14 for the other. So I'll probably just go ahead and order the OEM, because there'll be a nice shoulder bolt like this, like the one in the rear, and it won't be just something out of a hardware store. It's gonna be hard to find specific bolts from a hardware store. Now a nut, on the other hand, so we got, this is off of that rear swing arm, and it's M12 by 1.5. Clean the threads up a little, we just need to find a nut for it. Alright, well I don't have a nut to weld in today. I'll have to get one at the store. So I'll get those 4 bolts ordered, and then I'm sure I can find an M12 by 1.5 nut just at a local hardware store. Probably like a grade 8, something hardened to throw in there. And in the meantime, I can get the floor pan cut and all that stuff cleaned up and ready to go in as soon as the bolt is fixed. Okay, we got things cleaned up a little bit. There's a lot of rusty metal that's stuck to all of that wax that they coat the inside with, so that'll have to get cleaned out. But in the meantime, I can start cutting the seat tray, the floor pan to fit. So I went up there, is that little notch here. So I based it off that and kind of outlined where I'm going to cut beforehand, and that's all bigger than it should be. And I'll have an easier piece to go up there and kind of wiggle into place and see how I like it. Okay, so I got it roughed in, held up with a hard drive magnet. I think that gap will be gone once this isn't touching, once this corner's cleaned up. What I'm thinking is we use the cups, right? So those cupped out areas, we can use those to align it, and we can use that rail from the other side to align it, right? Because this should pretty much be even on both sides. It seems pretty good already, like it's pretty close. So we'll keep whittling away at it. It's not going to go in today. I got to start getting ready for work, and then I'm going to have at least tomorrow. Well, tomorrow I'm going to go to the body shop because somebody rubbed stuff across the van, which you probably can't even see it in the rain because it gets wet. It's not really that noticeable. It was at Home Depot. Oh yeah, so it's at Home Depot, and I came out and some dickbag used my car as leverage, or just didn't notice it and swiped on it. It's not very deep, so I figure it's worth taking it to the shop that did the hood. They'll buff it out for less than $50 while I wait. So I'm gonna meet them tomorrow at 10:30. I'm gonna rip the floor out of the bathroom, buy some stuff at Home Depot on the way home for that project, and then maybe on Thursday, either Thursday or Saturday, we'll finish up the floor. So it'll get there. It's just I gotta swap between the two. Sorry, Steve.